Begin with insecurity. Rattled by recent abduction of school children by bandits in the northwest, governors in the zone have decided to unite against terrorists. Reacting to the kidnap of about 15 Tsangaya students in Gada local government area of Sokoto state, the governor said they have ignored their political differences to unite against terrorists who have made the zone unsafe. However, the National Coordinator of Financing Safe Schools in Nigeria, Halima Iliya, said schools in 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are at risk of attacks by bandits and insurgents. Biki, let me start with you. How significant do you find the unity of Northwest Nigerian governors in combating terrorism, considering their usual political differences?
Yes, there's a need for the governors to come together. The Northwest states are contiguous in nature, and because they are contiguous in nature, the terrorists and bandits, people prefer me to call them terrorists. The terrorists and bandits can move from one state to another. They can move from Niger, which used to be part of the old Northwest state. They can move from Niger into Kebbi, for example. In fact, the federal government college, Sabon Yauri students, were kidnapped in Kebbi State and moved to Niger. Some kids were kidnapped in Niger some years back and were actually taken to Kebbi. So, and you see bandits moving from Kaduna State into Katsina. Bandits moving from Katsina into Kebbi. Bandit leaders from Zamfara operating inside Katsina State as if that is their home state. So because of the contiguous nature of those states, the best way to defeat banditry is to actually have sustained military operation that blocks the routes through which they can move into any of those states for escape. So if you have a simultaneous military operation and you block all the routes through which they can escape, you are going to defeat these guys. But why my country is reluctant to declare a full-scale war against bandits, a full-scale war that could last maybe 3 months, but that ensures that they cannot move from one state to another. So it's what I don't understand.
They move from Nigeria to other countries.
They do that as well.
They go into Niger Republic from time, but they are actually operating within the Northwest, apart from Kano and Jigawa that are relatively safe. Other states of the Northwest, you have bandits in ample quantity. And the fact that they can move those states, you know, Katsina and Zamfara, they are very close. In fact, there's a lot of intermarriage, you know, between those states. It's the same thing with Kaduna and Katsina. Kaduna and Katsina used to be part of one state until...
not Central State.
It was even Kaduna State during the Barabe Musa era. Katsina was part of Kaduna in the 80s. It was the military...
You mean Katsina was part of Kaduna?
Yes.
Kaduna State.
Yes, it was part of Kaduna State. It was the military that came and split both
geographical
split it into two. You know, that's the point that I'm trying to make. So, if you are a bandit, you are operating in, let's say, Fontua, they should block you from entrance area, which is in Kaduna State. Fontua is in Katsina. So, because it doesn't, and if you are a bandit operating in Niger, they should stop you from coming into Brinengwari, which is in Kaduna State. And Brinengwari is one of the most dangerous parts of our country today. Even the armed forces are scared to go there.
That's right.
So what I've asked for, and I stand to be correct, I'm convinced that it is the best way to approach this problem. If we continue to conduct piecemeal military operations, we are behaving like we've not got brains. We have to conduct simultaneous military operations across those contiguous states. If we do that, we are going to succeed. But what we do today, we are facing them here in Kaduna. Maybe something happened. We focus on Kaduna. We've forgotten that from Kaduna they can get into Niger. We've forgotten that from Kaduna they can get into Katsina, through Samia, and all of those, through Samia, through even Safe local government, Gusau local government. Those places are close to Kaduna. They can easily come in.
That's right.
So let's launch. If we want to approach this thing militarily, we must do it the right way. Let's know that, okay, for 3 months we want to fight these people. Because some of the things that I'm reading, I feel disturbed. Now we are being told that food insecurity will get worse next year, as long as the government is incapable of protecting the farmers.
That's right.
Who will go into the farms when these boys are there?
That's right. GKB, well, the governors actually wants President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to deploy the state resources to fight insecurity. And the president himself said a little earlier today that in about 2 to 3 weeks that we're going to see the program that is bringing on board, a comprehensive program that will solve this problem that will be launched in no distant time. What do you make of it?
Well, I will wait until I see it. We've done this many times before. During the Buhari years, there was a time they cut off network in certain parts of the north to ensure that they could not access the network and therefore communicate with each other. We all know how that one turned out. When it comes to promises, I no longer hold my breath. Because normally, like Gide said, if you want to do something, do it. Stop telling me you want to do it. Because right now, this is a direct slap in the face of the armed forces who have done extremely well in the last 5-6 months when it comes to combating banditry and combating the terrorists. We know that all over the world there will be setbacks.
Yeah.
There's no perfect system in the world. Even the most advanced countries with the most advanced technology will still have a blind spot once in a while that these people will exploit. Reminds me of, because when people do this, our job is to go back, re-strategize, and hit back at. Those who have suffered from this kind of banditry and terrorism, they have only one game plan.
Yeah.
And that is to make sure that anytime something like this happens, they hit back fast, they hit back hard, so that the consequences will be more than whatever they think they are going to gain by taking this.
Especially when the governors or the president said that we are winning the war against them.
No, we are winning
time,
the war.
Those who
know the terrain will tell you that things have been relatively better the last 5-6 months. But like I said, there's nothing like a perfect system. There are always be blind spots. People will always be blindsided one way or the other. But politically, I agree with the governors as the largest chunk of land in Nigeria and the one with the most states. Northwest must come together and solve their problem internally.
That's right.
I don't know how they're going to do it. The president can only do so much. But they too have a role to play. And like the governor said, they need to get together and do that. Because I remember that whenever you post new commissioner of police to states, they make the adequate noises. But they don't work on the intelligent area of things that they need to do. That to me is still where we are lacking. Because there is no way these things will happen in the open and there will be no one if somebody telling somebody that this is about to happen.
That's
that to me is the great danger there.
Yeah, the failure of intelligence. BKO, one worrisome thing is the national coordinator of financing safe schools in Nigeria, Halima Iliya, saying that schools in Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Benue, Katsina, Kebbi, etc., all of those 14 states, are said to be very, very unsafe. This is a cause for worry, do you think?
It's the truth. And in the last 10 years, since the attack on the school in Chibok, we've had so many attacks on schools. We had the government girls secondary school Chibok, followed by government girls secondary school Dapchi in Yobe State, and then federal government FGGC Jangebe in Zamfara, FGGC Yauri, Kebbi State, FGC Yauri, Kebbi State, GSS Kankara, Katsina State, GSC Kagara in Niger State, that's the school that Senator Shehu Sani graduated from, Tsangaya School, Tegina, Niger, Federal University, Dusima, Katsina State, School of Forestry, Kaduna, Greenfield University, Kaduna, Bethel Baptist School, Kaduna, School of Education, Gidanwaya, Kaduna, Kaduna State Poly, LA Primary School, Kuriga, Kaduna, Tsangaya School, Sokoto, and Apostolic Faith School, Ekiti. We've had all of these schools attacked in the last 10 years. It's a cause for concern. If we say we want to defeat the out-of-school children syndrome, there's no way we can defeat it with schools under constant attack from bandits and terrorists. There's no way we can defeat it. And I talked about this school in Jengebe, in Zamfara State. I visited the school during my last visit to Zamfara. And I observed that despite shutting the school for about a year, by the time they resumed, half of the students did not come back. So no one should be surprised.
And that will be adding to over 20 million out of school.
So when you talk about 30 million, this thing, we know that it's higher than that, because in the last few years, so many schools have been shut. And there's no way, you look at a state like Borno, that even decided to relocate schools to safe areas. Every time you relocate school, even to safe areas, some of the students have been left behind.
Because of accessibility,
yes,
distance and all of that.
But these boys continue to attack schools because they know they will draw attention. There's no way, God forbid, you can't attack a public school here in Lagos. Whatever Sanwo-Olu is doing somewhere, either in Abuja or wherever he is, he will first come down to Lagos. You've drawn his attention. They may not get such attention if they kidnap the bus passengers or something. But students, people, especially if they are kids, people's blood will boil. Everyone will be talking about it.
Rile up emotions.
So they deliberately target these schools. They know what they are doing. And they know you come out in full force, you will pay. When they attacked this school in Kankara, Katsina State, the governor even came to the scene and wept openly. Governor Aminu Bello Masari at that time. So, there's usually contrasting emotions about kidnap, depending on who are the victims.
And you don't want to talk about collateral damage because of the minors involved.
Oh, it's not even advisable to say, you could even be seeing them, but you don't want to, because they leave them in the open. It's not as if they build houses where they leave them in the open in the bush. Like the ones who were kidnapped, those train passengers in Kaduna, they were left in the open. And from even the videos that they shot and posted, the armed forces could pinpoint the exact location. But any attempt to rescue them will lead to loss of lives. So it's always advisable, don't even let the kidnap happen. Don't let it happen at all.
That's right. JKB, all the attackers do is to look for soft targets. You know, they now go to villages where they feel that they can quickly operate before help can come. And then they also target when communication networks, where communication networks are very bad. So I'm wondering how the introduction of safe schools will definitely, materialize in policing or in ensuring safety in our schools across the nation.
Well, we cannot simply fold our arms and pretend that we don't know we're in a crisis. And there's nothing like a stupid solution. A solution that will ensure that our kids are safe will go onto the table. I know that even in some countries, they take those who speech near school zones as a bigger crime than killing somebody. That's how important countries take their kids. So they know they are tapping into an emotion that doesn't have rhyme or reason. So for that, if we can create safe schools, why not? But like I said, ultimately, we are talking about the biggest part of Nigeria, the north, which is about 60-65% of the entire landmass, with a lot of open and unguarded spaces. And most of these schools, because of what we wanted to achieve when we started, are placed strategically in places where they will have a mass amount of land. So most of them are vulnerable to attack. But that doesn't take away the fact that we will pretend that we don't have issues. We do. And so the Safe School Initiative is part and parcel of trying to solve the little problems first. Let government face the bigger one going forward. Because unless we start doing that, 30 million out of school children soon become 60 million of school children. And if that happens in a population of 230 million, we're talking about 30% of our population. In a country where the young ones are about 60% of the entire population, totally out of school. They can't go to the farm, they can't go to school, so they have no skill to impart, they have no skill to get. So in another 20, 30 years, they will become those people in another generation. And that's what these people are trying very hard to solve. Like I said, I still cannot fathom the reality that 10 years down the line, we still do not know how to protect vulnerable schools in Nigeria. Don't forget, some schools will be attacked more than once. And then you keep wondering, what have been done to do this? Throughout history, how do people protect the vulnerable? Do they build big walls? Do they create moats? Do they plant mines on the road? There are things people do all over the world to protect people of this nature. But we seem to do only one thing. The thing we have to make the usual noises. 2 months down the line, we are doing something else. And then we do it again, we make the usual noises again. And that's why I don't like when people say, we will do this. Don't tell me what you want to do. As far as security is concerned, just do it. All we want are results. Let me know that these people have been captured, and this is what you've done, and the boys are back home. That's all the parents want to hear. Because we know those people, the Chibok girls, some of the parents never recovered till tomorrow with the loss of their children. So it's not something that we wish for my worst enemy.
Some suffered stroke and died.
It's so painful. Well, we believe that what the Sultan of Sokoto said, Muhammad Saad Abubakar said that those who kill others, in the name of going to paradise will never see God.
Those ones are
not Muslims.
They are not Muslims.
They are not Muslims.
Anyone who they attacked a mosque in Sokoto State. Yeah. Anyone who will go into a mosque at the time when we are even approaching the holy month of Ramadan, people. A lot of these bandits are not. They are animists. They are neither Christian or Muslim. A lot of them are animists. A lot of the criminal headsmen that you see, those headsmen, a lot of them do not believe in religion. In fact, I've said before that one of the prominent bandits in Zamfara said only a coward believes in God. He said that to a friend of mine who was very high in government.
In life after death.
They were negotiating. He said no, that only cowards believe in God. So you see them because his name maybe has a Muslim name, you assume that he's a Muslim. You are naive. He's an idol worshipper. He's an animist. He doesn't belong in your faith.